modest living. But even as they engage in that ritual of gutting the fish and throwing out that which is not desirable, their counterparts in the financial center are gutting a fish of their own, but unlike the fisher folk, they are throwing away the good part and they're keeping that, the intestines, and the part which normally have no type of use from the perspective of nourishment. And the fish that these folk are gutting, particularly on or about the Attorney General's office, is Sir Dennis Byron's report. What they have done based on these three pieces of legislation, they have gutted that report, the reforms produced or suggested or recommended by Sir Byron, and instead they have replaced it with that which is most undesirable. And I see that because the three or four most important reforms suggested by Sir Byron are conspicuous by their absence in this slate of three pieces of legislation, three bills that they've produced. The first, the composition of the Electoral Commission. So Byron, you may recall, recommended an expanded commission to ensure that the imperatives of fairness and electoral integrity that is preserved. They have thrown that out of the window. So Byron proposed at least a modest slate of reforms aimed at limiting campaign finance spending. That also was thrown into the Fonkole rubbish dump. And that was done for the most cynical of reasons, to ensure that anyone, irrespective of whether that person has a nefarious background, can contribute to Dominica's election. It's somewhat interesting that we're discussing this today, because only a day or two ago, you had two Chinese nationals who were deported, I believe, from Singapore and deported to Cambodia, and they were found to be in possession of two Dominican passports. So you have persons, as long as they have a Dominican passport, they do not have to meet the residential requirements of our current existing legislation. Once they are on the electoral list, they are eligible to vote with few exceptions. And that is the recipe that this government aims to foist upon us. The whole question of bribery, they've refused adamantly to specifically note that bringing in persons from abroad with an clear, express, or implied intention to vote for that a particular party or a particular individual constitutes the offense of bribery. So they have failed to introduce a modicum of protection of the integrity of our legislation. It has also been noted that even with the token reform of having voter ID cards, they failed to institute or to make any mention of those details, such as biometric data, which would ensure that, in fact, the person voting or the person who claims to be the person indicated in the voter ID card is that person because of the absence of that biometric information. And so here we are today, faced with this slate, which can only be described as an electoral banquet for a dictator. All the choice pieces of meat, the choice ingredients, the choice morsels of food are on that table set for a dictator. There is nothing more to it, and that is what we face. This is not hyperbole. This is not simple exaggeration. This, sadly, is the reality. And once again, we ask this question: where in the Eastern Caribbean has any island or any leader or any government produced a more cynical and capricious slate of reforms as what is being presented today, in masking under a hideous mask of modernization? The whole thing is a sham. The whole thing is a fraud. And quite frankly, Dominicans who are already grappling with the terrible effects of having a government stay in power illegally for over 20 years will be impoverished even more. Let me ask you two questions, Mr. G. Why do you think we have not seen the observers' report? The observers who were in Dominica last, was it September? Listening to the procession of acolytes singing from the same hymn book. Why have we not seen the report produced by these observers, including a representative of the OS? Let me ask you another question. You remember that two of your participants this evening were charged for incitement or arising out of an incident in 2017, if my recollection is correct, where patriotic Dominicans were protesting, as is their right, in front of the financial center. These two persons and others were charged with incitement. A senior member of the Jamaica Defense Force was commissioned to do a report on the genesis of the disturbances which ensued later that evening. Why do you think that report has not been produced? Let me say this. If that report had corroborated the evidentiary basis of these cynical charges, it would have been heard throughout the whole world, to the four corners of this world. Similarly, the Sir Byron's report, quite frankly, you remember, Lennox Linton, I don't know if he's here this evening, was challenged that he should join with the Prime Minister so that as soon as Sir Byron produced his report, they would take it to the Parliament to be made into law. And what have they done to it? They have eviscerated it. They have gutted it. And you know the fundamental problem, Mr. G? I know that you're a high-end shopper. When you go to those high-end stores and you don't like some items, you bring it back and you get your money back. Can we bring back that Sir Byron electoral report and ask for a refund as we are entitled to receive? The answer is no. Yet again, significant sums of Dominican money, taxpayers' money, are being squandered and frittered away, while persons up to today cannot even cover their roofs, let alone buy insurance, which the political directorate is boasting about having. Yet again, Dominica is shafted in every way, in every shape, in every form. And the fundamental question remains, what are we doing to protect ourselves and our future? And on that note, I pause.
You notice from Mr. Andre that the people, the underlying theme in the few comments made by Mr. Andre I mean, we talk and we talk and we talk and we talk. But the question remains, are the people of Dominica ready to stand and demand electoral reform? We've been hearing that for many, many, many years. We've been hearing this from various hands. Are the people ready to stand against this administration? Clearly, that's blocking electoral reform. Not even prepared to listen to one man. They have paid over $600,000 and some of his recommendations. So are they doing what they want? The question remains. Will you guys just remain a talk shop, pointing fingers here, there, and everywhere, and not doing what you have to do to get electoral reform? As I've said before, are you guys going to play dead? Lie and play dead? Let me get your comments at this time before we introduce our next guest. Was Mr. Edison James, former Prime Minister of Dominica. Every day you want to talk about electoral reform. Again, another chance to say how you feel. What is it you're prepared to do to get the electoral reform that you are demanding all the time? The numbers are 449-3095, 449-3096, 449-3097-616-4257, 305-432-9624. Somebody's asking the question at the draft. Electoral reform still a model for the OECS? Well, we have not heard the telephones going just yet. I'm simply amazed, huh? Everybody wants to talk electoral reform. When we're talking electoral reform, they remain silent. It has to be a people's decision. Let's listen now to Edison James before.
It is a very painful occasion and exercise because we've gone through this for so long. This journey started, I think, way back in 2005 when at a rally of my party, the United Workers' Party in Newtown, we invited a guest speaker, Shaku Simister from Antigua. Antigua, the UPP of which he was a part, I think he was chairman at the time, had assumed the office of government, the UPP, yes. They had become the government after the party before them had been there for some 20-something years. And I remember having breakfast with the then Prime Minister Baldwin Spencer, who, among other things, I remember him saying, Edison, in the absence of electoral reform, we would never have won elections. We were having breakfast at the Fort Young. And that has resonated with me for a long time. And I suppose there are others who recognize that they could stifle the electoral reform, which is so patently necessary, and thereby ensuring that they never lose elections. But, you know, I'm reminded that our Constitution, the Constitution of the Commonwealth of Dominica, in that Constitution, somewhere, it tells us that the people of Dominica have asserted their belief in a democratic society, and that men and institutions remain free only when such freedom is founded upon the rule of law. I remember years ago, my sister had received a prize as part of a course, at the end of a course that she had attended in Barbados. And that particular dictionary, there was a definition there of democracy. And it said, democracy is not suited to Negroes. I've always remembered that. I can't put my hand on that very version. I've never seen it in another version of a dictionary. And I suppose the powers that be now, led by Roosevelt Skerrit, seem to believe that democracy is not suited to us. But Dominicans asserted their belief in a democratic society. Democracy cannot come about in the absence of free and fair elections. Democracy is wrapped up, entwined by free and fair elections. So we have standing before us the triplet: democracy, free and fair elections, and the rule of law. I think Dr. Andre mentioned the word dictator a while ago. When I was a young boy and I heard the word dictator, it frightened me. Every bone in my body was almost mulled, because I associated democracy with Hitler, and I associated Hitler with the killing of so many people. So when I hear the word dictator, it frightens me. But sad to say, that is where we are in Dominica. Because what we have is a situation where the people of this country, who have asserted their belief in the democratic way of life, it's contained in the Constitution, and recognizing that that democracy is steeped in, wrapped up in, guided by, directed by free and fair elections. And we have a leader in our country, of our country at this time, who is determined that there will be no free and fair elections in Dominica. And as I said, this journey started some time ago, many, many years ago, when we, the United Workers' Party and others, embarked upon a mission to have the elements of free and fair election in our country brought about. Identify those elements in the context of our country. The use of ID cards for voting, and a complete re-registration, a complete cleansing of the list. These relatively two and simple actions or requirements is what was identified as key to us having free and fair elections. It is here that we must pause to remember that notorious email from one of the three people who control Roosevelt Skerrit. There are three people, in my estimation, who control Roosevelt Skerrit, and by extension, the 65 or 70,000 of us who live in Dominica. Anthony Hayden, Hartley Henry, a gentleman called Dev Bath, and Anthony Estepan. Interestingly, none of those three is resident in Dominica. None of those three is affected by the mismanagement by the excesses of the regime led by Mr. Skerritt. But they are the controllers. So that notorious email is what is driving the actions of Roosevelt Skerritt. What was it said? What the essence of that said, of that email? That these fellas at the commission are talking about electoral reform. And they're talking about ID cards and complete re-registration. This will damage your legacy of winning elections. You see, Sheridan, I don't know whether you can find a way to let that be known throughout the country, just as we know our national anthem and our pledge. That email. In the context of electoral reform, it needs to be on the lips of everybody. We should know it by heart, right? That it will damage your legacy. So we have had, in the context of this mission to get electoral reform, we've had consultants come in here. We've had observers from the Commonwealth, from the CARICOM, from the OAS, from every and anywhere. We've had consultations, island-wide consultations. We have had a sole commissioner. He's had another name, the legal luminary. We've had civil society representatives. All these people, individuals, have sought to address this question of electoral reform and therefore free and fair elections. Free and fair elections. All those consultants, all those observers, all those luminaries have recommended, have advised on the approaches which should be taken to have a free and fair elections. Dr. Andre mentioned a while ago the complete absence of anything from the observers who observed the island-wide consultations which we had a few months ago, from the CARICOM, from the OAS, from the Commonwealth. Nothing. I understand they have submitted their reports, but I think I agree with Dr. Andre and Sheridan yourself when you suggested that had those reports said anything that was favorable and was pointing to what we have seen coming out from Mr. Skerritt and his people now, we would have been hearing that about it from the mountaintop. But what was the response of the administration to all those consultants and observers and so on, and the Dominicans who gave their views? Go to hell. Go to hell. And even if we have not heard that expression in the context of how Mr. Skerritt is treating us now with this move with respect to the electoral reform at this stage, even if we have not heard those words, his actions are telling us that. Go to hell. Go to hell. And I mentioned earlier the rule of law. When we talk about the rule of law, we're talking about our courts. The highest court available to us has said that the elections 2019 were tainted, but they said more than that. They urged, they advised, they recommended that elections should not be held. Future elections should not be held with those taints that they identified. What did Mr. Skerritt do? Within a few months of that advice and guidance from our highest court being given, he went into elections again, clearly indicating a complete disrespect for the rule of law. So what happens when a people have decided that in the context of their democracy, there's a certain path they want to follow to ensure that that democracy is established and maintained? Stumbling blocks are put in their way. So they go to the court, seeking the support of the rule of law. And the court rules in the people's favor, you might say. And the dictator says, to hell with the court. So to hell with the people, to hell with the court. What do the people do in that situation? Well, the very court, and I don't have the court, but I see Lennox is here, he'll help me. The very court has reminded us of what happens in a situation where democracy is gutted and where the rule of law is disregarded. The court reminded us that in that situation, you have riots. You have riots. That is where the people of Dominica are being pushed, you know. I hear people are asking, what do we do? And what is the opposition doing and what is so and so? It's not the opposition who is going to do, you know. It's the people who will do. And when the people try everything that is peaceful, that is within the law, and they're being told by words and action, go to hell, then the people will decide enough is enough. I heard Dr. Andre mention two of the guests on the program being before the court, but I know three were announced to be on the program, and those three are before the court. Thomas Fontaine, the political leader of our party, Lennox Linton, the president of our party and VDS past political leader, and myself, a trustee of the party. We have all been politically persecuted. I know there's another word called prosecuted, but we've all been persecuted. I ended up in the jail the other day. That's another story. But that's what happens. I told you earlier about my concern about a dictator. Dictators kill people. Persecuting people and putting them in the jail is not killing people, but it's one step in that direction. So, Dominicans, that is where we are. That's the path on which we are, where we have a government in place now that refuses to respect the wish of the people with respect to the democratic system under which they wish to live, and has decided that those people who are trying to tell you and open your eyes about what is happening, that they will be dealt with. And we will start with persecuting them, we'll start with putting them in jail, but we might end up killing them. Is that what we want? But you know, that path that Mr. Skerrit and those who advise him and advising him are on, that path, they are emboldened because they believe that they have the police there with them. So the police will be used to deal with the people who are trying to open the eyes of the Dominicans. It is my caution to the police that they should not allow themselves to be used by this dictator. And I'm not going to say would-be dictator. When a man can decide, I am not going to listen to any of you. I paid $600 and $700 million to Mr. Byron and his friend to do whatever. I've thrown it aside, and I'm going to do what I always wanted to do and what I always intended to do. I'm not listening to you. Don't expect me to have any further discussion with you. That is the essence, the element, the core of a dictator. Question is that what you want? But you better take warning. There's a song like that, Mr. Derby. You better take warning. I
heard Dr. Andre singing it this morning.
Right. Okay. So we better take warning because it is not alarmist. It is not out of this world. Mr. Ostry, who's a senior member of the ruling party, was at the time, urged that Mr. Linton be kidnapped. You remember that? Those who are listening to me, remember that?
I remember.
Mr. Ostry urged that Mr. Linton be kidnapped.
Disappear him.
Disappear him. That is kidnapping him. But we know, we have heard, at least it's been alleged, that our Prime Minister, our Minister of National Security, and our Chief of Police were involved in kidnapping exercise in Dominica. That is an allegation. I'm sure there are people who might be prepared to come forward and confirm that. We've heard that allegation. Those people I've mentioned have never denied it. So it is not far-fetched when we say that those of us who are involved in the advocacy for a democratic way of life to be maintained, to be championed, that we are in danger. And you, the people of Dominica, you are in danger. So what do we do? It's my opening comments. But what we do right now, some time ago, we came out with a suggestion to the people of Dominica that they should do nothing. I think it was on your station that Randy Rodney asked me in the context of my incarceration what I think the people should. I said they should do nothing. And perhaps the people should start by doing nothing. By doing nothing. So I'm not urging the people to go and get in any violence. But I'm saying to the people, I'm not a trade unionist. I do not have the authority to tell people to withdraw your labor, but just do nothing. That is where your power is. Imagine your power is in doing nothing. Think about it. And if this gentleman, if Roosevelt Skerrit and those who are directing him, not like directing him, insist that they must trample over you, trample over your rights, trample over your democracy, then you have to consider as a people on a continuing basis, do nothing, but not only the regular people. In 79, and one of the reasons I understand that they have cited us, for at least me, for incitement is because at that gathering in 2017, I referred to what happened in 79. And it seems it is criminal for you to mention what happened in 79. Well, you can't stop me from dealing with history, okay? So I'm only urging that what you have now, the power you have now in your hands as a people, is to do nothing. All of us just do nothing and just continue to do nothing and see where it takes us.
Another powerful presentation by a former Prime Minister of Dominica, Mr. Edison James. The question remains, will the people stand? The theme is running through these both presentations. Let's go to the telephones before we move on to Mr. Lennox Linton, who also presented last evening. Let's take a phone call. Are you there? Yes?
Yes, I'm there. Greetings, Dominica.
Greetings to
My
you.
brother, I listen to I listen to Mr. James, and it hurts my heart. It's sad to see there's many intellectuals in Dominica that support this and still supporting this government on the demise of Dominica, boy. I mean, it's like literally having someone come in your house and taking over your house and running your whole family, and they're not doing nothing. It's sad. These people have, that's their country. They have the investment, whether it's businesses and to have a government literally destroy the country, and the people are feeling it. They are feeling it. They are very aware of what's going on as far as the economy. People are struggling, and they still, to this day, supporting instead of standing up and say, yo, enough is enough, man. And I'll continue to say, I'm going to always blame the police department and them. I know there's some that's against it, but I'm just putting everyone is one unit. I'm still going to blame them for what Dominica demise. Because if the police department by themselves decide enough is enough, the change is going to come. But they have to take full responsibility for what's going on in Dominica, because a lot of people is very concerned about when they take arms after them. You know what I'm saying? But Dominica, we have to stand up and save our country. Someone just posted on the social media, look at what's happening in Wesley. Does that look like an international airport? And you are condoning and supporting that? Does that look like an international airport? Come on, man. Have a blessed day, brother.
Have a blessed day too. Somebody's making a comment and saying at this point, the United Workers' Party is sending such conflicting message. They tell you to do something, they tell you to do nothing and come out. How? Do nothing but show up for protest? No. Find your message and stick to it. Somebody is advocating. Back then it was scare it must go, and it worked. Time for change. They even had a pastor on the other side saying it. Find your message. Stop sending conflicting messages, huh? I just want to read that message again. The United Workers' Party is sending such conflicting message. They tell you to do nothing and come out. How? Do nothing but show up for protest? Or do nothing but show up for protest? Find your message and stick to it. And that message is coming from the diaspora. Hello, talk to me. Yes, good morning. Good afternoon. Yes.
Stand for what, man? What do you stand for?
You don't realize, Mr. Mills, you're making a fool of yourself. On the telephone, hello, talk to me. Yes.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon
Mark,
to you, sir.
You know, I hate to be responding to some stuff that I hear, but people keep saying the United Workers' Party. Dominica is not the United Workers' Party only. The country belongs to all the citizens. The ones who support Labour, the ones who don't support no party, and the ones who support UWP. So if the UWP say do nothing, and the person who's saying they're sending conflicted message, you have a better idea, let the people hear your idea. It's not a criticism. What's taking place is the people are fearful to stand up and come out to the street in masses. Those who supporting that government and getting crumbs rather sit and suffer than stand up for their own right, like man, stand up with your rod in your back and defend the country, regardless of what the case, man. Here, the problem is, man, and I'll tell you that the country that you living in now is not the country I grew up in. Because I grew up in a village that no man take no nonsense from nobody. And that is the kind of tradition that I grew up under. And this is the kind of person I am today. And when Blessing telling you the things that he said, most Dominicans are cowards, he's right, because he grew up under the same thing. Man didn't play. You know, this kind of nonsense you see in the country now would not be. Because people would be in the street. And if it takes violence, that's what it is. Everybody said they don't want violence, but there must be a solution. And if it's a violent solution, my brother, that's it. But just to say one set of people, is everybody's responsibility to stand up and fight. And those who call in from the other side, who think it's okay, now wait until then people get their hands on everything, like the plan goes ahead. They themselves will be crying and it'll be, well, boy, if I didn't know it's too late, it's too late. It's already too late for you. So go on with it now. I'm out, my brother. Thanks.
Evil prospers, somebody's writing, when good people sit back and do nothing. It's when you do something about what is happening, you will see change. Do nothing is allowing everything to trample over you. More telephone calls. Hello, talk to me, yeah?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am, we have to stand up and do something. Because if we sit down and don't do anything, then evil will flourish. We want to have a government in place that when people do wrong things, they will pay for their crime and not get promoted for the crime they have committed, man. So that is why we will stand up for something, because we want something to happen in this country. And we're calling on the people that want the really electoral reform to stand up for it. And Kiga got an electoral reform, Matt. Did they have that kind of magic going on, Matt? You're a journalist, you should not tell me.
Not that I know. Not that I know, no.
St. Lucia got electoral reform. Did they have that kind of magic?
No.
No. Grenada, all the countries in the Caribbean, excepting us. But there are people calling stand up for what? We have to stand up for something. Otherwise, we'll fall for nonsense going on in that country. Some people benefiting.
How do you recommend, Blue? That's the answer I'm looking for. How do you recommend that the people stand? What should they do? Yes?
But this is protest. We have to go and protest, not and protest in a way that people will understand. All of us have our placard and we're standing up in the street. We walk in for days. The business places should fall. Ask the people, it's a cause. Let us stand up for something. Because when push comes to shove and bad things start to happen, my business is not going to flourish anymore. I'm not going to sell because everybody will be leaving and go. If the Haitians don't come to Dominica, they live in and they go in. So we have to stand up, Matt. We have to walk the walk. And we have to talk the talk, and we have to walk the walk. Stand up, our placards in our hands, like we stood up by by the fort young there for days.
Mm-hmm.
We even sleep there. If it's that we have to do, let us damn well do to get those rascals, them parasite that always call in the radio, they stick on the radio looking for what they want. Fuck the parasite.
All right, Blue, go easy. Skerrit should be demanded to step down, somebody has a saying, by a certain date. And if not the case, then we take the next steps. 449-3095-96 and 97. Yes, of course, the people have been talking about electoral reform. What do we do about it and getting the true electoral reform that we need in Dominica? That's the question. Hello, talk to me. Yes?
Hello, Matt. Matt.
Yes, my brother.
Point made by Honorable Edison James, I need to reiterate with respect to the policemen, Matt.
Yes.
It is something that I myself have been calling for, Matt, and we need to look at that soberly and reasonably, Matt. We need to engage the police force in Dominica, Matt. But there are a number of people, many of them call you and give you comments to comment about, oh, Brian mustn't say this and Brian can't say this and how it is and Blessings mustn't say this and why they say it. Matt, you see some of those people that we need their expertise now so that they can organize themselves to go and start to engage the police, to find out from the police if the police are in support of all what is happening to us with respect to the denial of electoral reform. If the police, they need to reason out with Valerie and those boys to find out what is the situation, and at the same time, Matt, we need to engage on some program of mobilizing the police force, because we believe that the majority of policemen in Dominica want electoral reform. We believe that the majority of policemen in Dominica are feeling the strain and they want to be liberated from this scary dictatorship, Matt. So we want the people right now. I'm appealing again to the ERC. You have a lot of people involved in people that can speak nice and soft language like Savre Mackenzie and all of those high people there. Let them start to get involved with the Commissioner of Police, the leadership of the police force, and the police force at large by extension, Matt, so that we could get to some kind of a common understanding and to solicit the cooperation.
Would you agree, Brian, with a comment I'm now reading that Mr. Skerrit already know that Dominicans is just a bunch of jaw-jocking. He's going to pass the reform. He wants a no resistance. He already knows that. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, Matt, once we do not talk to the police and we do not get the police engaged, that will happen, Matt, because the strength of Mr. Skerrit is the police, Matt. Matt, you're not helping me, you're not helping me to meditate on that, to reason. That is the reality, Matt. We try to cloud it with all other things. But the source of our problem with respect to getting Mr. Skerrit to listen to us, Matt, it is with the police. The police are the ones empowering him to do what he wants with the judiciary, to do what he wants with our finances, to, no investigation. You hear in police from other countries investigating when government fraud takes place. Not this one here, Valerie, and them don't know nothing about that. So that is why, Matt, we need to emphasize and launch a campaign to engage the policemen, to get the police force on our side, Matt, because otherwise that is the main tool of intimidation. The police, Matt, and that is where we are, Matt. And anytime we do not concentrate on that, Matt, we're going to be just talking uselessly. Anytime we're not planning to engage the police positively, Matt, we're just wasting time. And that is why Honorable Edison James saw the reasoning in that. And that is why he's appealing for that type of engagement, Matt. We need to do that, or else we're just going to be talking. Yes, Skerrit say about King Cook already, he's not going there with that. Because Skerrit, anytime people decide they're going down on the road or whatnot and so on, is just send police by them and intimidate them and let people and so on. So that is why, Matt, we need to get the policemen, the custodians of law enforcement of Dominica, we need to get them on our side. It's that thing, or else, Matt, anything, the only other alternative, Matt, is to allow the country to either just stay under the charm of Skerrit forever and ever, amen, or to deteriorate into civil war. One or two, nothing else, Matt. But the police needs to get on board. Matt, the police need to get on board. Matt, the police need to get on board. Matt, help us, please, to get the...
So you're saying, Brian, enough is enough. Is enough is enough.
Yes, and help me, Matt. Help us to get the police on our side. There are many of them who are on our side already, Matt. We just need to continue doing that type of advocacy among our policemen so that we can get them to turn away from evil and to support the country and the citizenship, Matt. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Brian. Thank you. Of course, he's saying get the police on our side. Hello, talk to me, yes? Good morning. Or good afternoon, sorry.
Yeah, an advocate without a position is a phone. Okay? Right.
I am not getting the point there, but anyway, you can call back if. Hello, talk to me on the telephone, yes?
How you doing, my brother Matt? How you doing today?
How you doing?
Good. Matt, I see Mr. James and some of your callers love Mr. Byron all of a sudden because the amount of blows all you give Byron, all of a sudden is loved by the Q95.
Well, hold on. You really like to engage you. Are you satisfied that none of the recommendations made by Dennis Byron, who we paid, you will agree, who we paid over $600,000, now we're hearing none of the recommendations have been implemented. Are you satisfied, Al, as a Dominican, that should we ask for a reform, a refund? Al Benoit.
Well, Matt, I haven't read the report. When I read it, I'm going to get back to you.
All right. Okay. Well, I'm telling you, there's nothing in there. And you're not taking my word for it. Also, I'm sure somebody's going to send you the report. I hope you take your time. And read this, and it'll come back to us. Would you agree with that, Al Benoit?
Matt, when you talk about the people, when you and Mr. James talk about the people, are you talking about the 2% or the 80% of the people? Which one of them? Because you guys always talk about the people come out and protest. But we all know you guys don't have that percentage when it comes to people and support on the ground. So what percentage are you talking about, we the people? That's what we want to know. Matt, I know you don't read the report. I know you haven't read the report, Matt.
I'm telling you, okay, so we're going to challenge ourselves to read more deeply the report, right, Al? Would you agree with me? And we'll take it page. We'll take it page by page. Do you want to do that?
Mr. Pelte, as soon as you finish reading the report.
No, but you're making comments while you have not read it. I'm sure I have read more than you. So I'm saying let's take it day by day, one report at a time, and we'll find out. We'll come back to each other. Would you agree with me? One page at a time, Al.
Right.
One page at a time, Al. One page at a time, Al. You're making comments from where you are, and you know nothing about what is in the report, and you want to accuse me of not reading the report. Hello, talk to me on the telephone, yes?
Yes, Matt. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you, Al. Good afternoon.
Al, Go and hide your head in some snow and leave us in our business in Dominica, please.
There's no snow right now. It's the summer.
Well,
All right, caller, let's take another phone call. Are you there? Yes? Uh-huh.
Matt will not read the report. He will drag it just like Roosevelt carried dragging it. And he wants you to read it before the wicked day, then.
All right, no. Lucille, go easy in the language. I'm just telling Al, I mean, it's only fair that we, the people of Dominica, have paid over $600,000. And based on what we've read, none of the recommendations are in the report. Do you find it fair, Al, that we've paid so much money? Do we ask Mr. George Andre just said earlier? Do we ask for a refund now that the judge has not? The Prime Minister and his team has not put in any other recommendations made by the our judge there? 158. Talk to me. Yes,
Matt,
I'm here.
what's up, bro?
How are you doing,
Good.
my brother? Yeah.
Matt, I good. I listen to my good partner, Brian Linton, and the way he speaks is like the opposition in majority and the government or Labour Party in minority. Matt, the government, the Labour Party is in majority and the opposition in minority, Matt. Matt, who say that Labour Party does not have support and the supporters cannot come and defend the Labour Party and the government on the street as well? Who tell Brian to think that way? And it's just the police alone the Labour Party has or the government has to defend it. That's not true, Brian. You have it all wrong, bro. The Prime Minister always said that he wants peace and keep his supporters inside and tell them, no, don't come out, even when the supporters want to come out on their own. Matt, the other thing is, Matt, who burned down the Brian report? Matt, we saw a video where a well-supporter, well-known.
No. Let's talk about what we're talking about now, because you seem to you seem to know a lot more than we're talking about. I'm asking you, my friend from Grand Bay, why do you think that the Prime Minister and his team refused any recommendations made by Dennis Byron? You ask
because the report was burnt. We saw a video where the opposition member.
But we have many copies, so your excuse is lame. There are many reports. You maybe saw one being burnt, but there are many copies given to many people. So what is that lame excuse you're coming about? I'm asking you about the recommendations made by the judge. Do you think it's fair that no recommendations are put in there?
Are you allowing me?
I'm allowing you. Go ahead.
Good. I am saying, Matt, the moment that the report surfaced, the Byron report surfaced, Matt, the opposition rejected that report and said, scare it, wasted money and the treasury money and paid Byron $700,000, and they was not going to accept the report from.
No, we're not talking about the opposition. We're talking about what is in the report that was brought to the Prime Minister and his team. You're running away from the question, my brother. 2:00 is the afternoon time. Hello, talk to me.
Yeah, good afternoon, Matt.
You want to concentrate on what you think the opposition has said about the report. What about the recommendation that was brought to the Prime Minister and his team? Hello, talk to me.
Yes, man. Good afternoon.
How are you doing? Yes.
Not bad. Madam saying that and gave us a result of some report that he recommended. And I think Mr. Andre also recommended something for us.
Yes.
But what this present government is giving you, that's nothing that anybody should read. So tell our behave yourself and burn that. What Kerry gave them, nothing is for Dominicans. This thing is to burn, and Dominicans need to get on the street right away and do whatever it takes to get rid of this administration. No. And we'll be starting in Marigot as soon as possible. We're just waiting to hear Wayne James. Thank you very much.
All right. So, Mr. Wayne James, I've asked you for the past few days, when will the commissioner speak? Talk to me on the telephone, yes?
Yes, man. Man, I heard a man said his prime minister want peace. When you, as a prime minister of a country, tell people, your people, when you see the opposition, call them traitor, go up in there, say, doesn't matter where you see them, call them names. When you tell the people of Peter in the south over there, when people come on your step, tell them to shut your step scared, foot a grocer after you. If that is a man that wants peace in the country, my boy. But are you wicked, way? What are you standing up in Grand Bay in the 70s? If it was that man that was there today, or your mother and father would never get the property all you get in Grand Bay. He would sit to that the white man on Mr. Narkin stay there, and all you would stay behind the door. That is what that would happen. And all you see what's going on in the country, then all you stay in St. Croix and St. Thomas and ripping the benefits of the American government. I'm not just talking about the man one piece. Be about yourself.
Hello, talk to me on the telephone 449-3095-96 and 97. Let's take Mr. Lennox Linton, who also spoke last evening on Global View on Q. Stick around, Dominica. We'll take more phone calls when we come back.
What you just outlined, Sheridan, is evidence of the struggle Dominica has had in the better part of the last 20 years, better part of the last 2 decades, with a calculated, brutal assault on Dominica's democracy. And Edison James has addressed it. Dr. Andrew has addressed it. The democratic state that we have chosen to live in, a key piece of which, a foundation piece of which, is government of the people, by the people, for the people. And government of the people, by the people, for the people necessitates free and fair elections in which the people with their majority votes of conscience decide who they want to govern periodically. And I want to spend a little time on this because I think it's important. Government of the people, which people? Our people. Our people, according to the Constitution, who are resident in Dominica, are above 18 and what's the other qualification? Citizens. The citizens of Dominica, they're our people, they're citizens of Dominica. They are above 18 years and they are living in a particular polling district in Dominica because the right is to elect people to represent you in the parliament, meaning people to represent you in the governance of Dominica, so that the people are making those choices. Government of the people. But the people referred to in the Supreme Law are those who are making the decisions, are those who qualify because they are 18 and because they are living in a particular polling district from where they can seek representation for their affairs in that polling district in the parliament of the country. So government of the people, government by the people, meaning us, our professionals, our upstanding citizens who stand up to serve, stand up to provide the leadership and management in government for the best Dominica, for all the sons and daughters of Dominica. Of the people, by the people. The other dimension is for the people. So government has to be for the people. And we have a classic example in Dominica now of government that is not for the people. This government is for everybody else outside and for many outside interests, as opposed to being for the people. That is why the government can boast hundreds of millions of dollars leaving each year in construction jobs for outsiders working in Dominica, while Dominican carpenters and masons and plumbers are struggling for employment and for earning opportunities. They go elsewhere to find it. So you're supposed to have a government overseeing an economy that works for people, but that is not happening. The construct, the democratic construct, is government of the people, by the people, for the people. And we're now on this for the people dimension, and you're seeing all of the different ways in which this government is not for the people. They've allowed the healthcare system to fall apart. They have brought thousands and thousands of people into poverty over the last 20 years by mismanaging the economy, by organizing it for outsiders and providing the opportunities for outsiders to build capacity while our people in Dominica are shut down. What has happened to the business community in Dominica? Where's the Dominica Association of Industry and Commerce? Where's the Dominica Employers Federation? Where are those enlightened institutions in the public space that for years and years were building a capacity to look after their affairs and to partner with government, the public sector, in the building of the country, in the building of the economy? Where are they? Where is the church? What has happened to the church? What has happened to the institutions of democracy that hold up this government for the people discipline? We have a very interesting situation where for the people means government that is accountable to the people. But you've heard from Edison James about go to hell, it's none of your damn business. And I'm not having any more consultations with you because this fish is already in the oil and it's frying and it's good. So where are we going with that? The democratic construct, government of the people, government by the people, government for the people with the majority votes of conscience of the people, has been systematically assaulted in the last 20 years, over the better part of the last 20 years. And that is the problem that we face today, because everything is falling apart because of that, because we have not taken care of, we have not protected the basic democratic construct for successful living in this democracy. So you see a situation now where after years and years of an electoral system, an electoral process, being subjected to the fancies and whims of one man and his gang, being hijacked by one man and his gang, being manipulated, being tainted by one man and his gang, so that they can do what they want, to steal elections and to come out of elections with results in their favor every time. And what did they do with that? They take the power of the people to govern, and they pass it to their friends outside. Because it is those friends in the outside who are telling them and dictating to them what to do. So this is no longer government of the people. You have a few people who have hijacked the electoral process to take government and give it to outsiders, to give it to the control of outsiders. So we don't have government of the people. No, we don't have government by the people. And then in the question of government of the people now, which is supposed to mean the people of Dominica, living in Dominica, they are passing that right in the electoral system to determine results in elections to persons who are not ordinarily resident in Dominica, and therefore ought to have no interest in representation in governance of Dominica because they live in another jurisdiction. The construct is corrupted. That's where all the taints come from. And so the Caribbean Court of Justice admonishes us, after all of these years of advocacy for electoral reform, which really is advocacy for free and fair elections with integrity, a process, a system for that to happen, that it was very worried, concerned about the taints that it witnessed on the electoral process in the 2019 elections, and future elections in Dominica ought not to be held with these or similar taints. When the OAS Observer Mission came to the 2022 election, sham election, snap election, called just about the time when the consultant was providing his recommendations on reform for the election that we should not have without removing the taints, the OAS said that it is clear Dominica cannot proceed to another election under these rules. The rules are the rules that were there before, which gave rise to all those taints and all those manipulations that saw the kinds of results we've been having in elections in Dominica. And so I want to say tonight that this is a time for Dominica to stand up, because we are in a situation of the people of Dominica and the people's right to elect their own government, the people's right to have a process for free and fair elections. Those rights and the people's interest are being assaulted by one man and his gang. So it is him versus the people of Dominica. And the people of Dominica, in my view, in my mind, have been dormant for too long. Yes, we have taken the civil approach. Yes, we have been at this for a very long time. But also, yes, it is time to get serious. It is time for the people to get serious about what belongs to them, what is their responsibility for this democracy that we hold dear. And to me, it can no longer be people sitting in the comfort of their homes, waiting to see which of their neighbors or their brothers and sisters or their cousins are going out to protest for rights that belong to all of us and which we must rescue if this country is to go anywhere further, anywhere forward. We have to succeed with that rescue mission. The time is now. And you know some of the things that tell us the time is now? The dictator. They don't like to call him that, but who else dresses in $25,000 outfits? That an NEP worker must work for 2 years to get $25,000, but you can dress up in $25,000 outfits at a time and then tell the NEP worker, hello, you know that $1,000 that you're receiving every month, you're supposed to be able to save $200 on it, you know. Now the NEP worker is paying lights, the NEP worker is paying water, the NEP worker is paying for his internet service, the NEP worker is paying for his liquor TV, the NEP worker is putting money in his cell phone. None of these costs apply to the dictator. The state meets all of them for him, including his transportation cost, and then his fat salary on top of that, and then his $64,000 mansion. All told, the dictator is costing the state $125,000 a month, enough to pay 125 NEP workers at $1,000 each. And the dictator has the gall to say to the NEP worker, what is your problem with the $1,000? You should be able to save $200 on that. What is your problem? I mean, come on. I mean, don't you see me? Don't you see me enjoying life on my designer clothes, my $25,000 and $30,000 designer clothes outfits? Don't you see me just living it large? What is your problem? And you know you're dealing with dictators when they tell you one thing and they do something completely different, but they don't expect you to ask them any questions. So they come to you with all sorts of stories. Oh, well, we're going to save money to fix the debt. We're going to do this, we're going to do that. Things at the hospital will get better. And nothing happens, but the debt rises. And life gets more and more difficult, more and more intolerable, more and more unbearable in so many respects, in so many aspects. And while that is happening for the people, the dictator and his gang are happy. They're large, they're in charge. And they tell you, we are going to give you electoral reform. Now, electoral reform is what electoral reform is. And there's some very discrete elements to it in our circumstances. But the dictator wants to tell you that what he wants for the process, which is deform, is actually reform. And you should ask him no question. So there's where we are. We have a distortion of the right to vote that is causing us to have a number of people who are not ordinarily resident in Dominica on the register of voters, corrupting the list and creating that pool of voters overseas that the dictator can use the public money to bribe with free tickets, with spending money to come to Dominica to vote. That's part of the corrupt way of stealing elections in Dominica. And the dictator will not let go of it So we have no clear provisions against the bribery of transportation expenses. We have no clear provision in the law, proposed law, that is supposed to be electoral reform against free entertainment treating. We have no clear provisions for ID cards intended to deal with the fraud. We have voter ID cards, but no clear provisions for the inclusion of security features like biometric data and so on. Unique ID number, registration number, polling district. No provisions in the law for that. It's up in the air. We have provisions for access to DBS radio, but not all media. And the access to DBS radio is kind of iffy. You're not sure when it will happen, given the way the wording is. We have problems with the whole integrity of the system and obedience to the rule of law that will give us a process that we can trust. So everywhere you look at it, go to campaign finance, very important recommendations coming from the Byron consultancy, totally ignored, because of course, campaign finance regulation will interfere with the corrupt system, the crooked system that has been used to secure election results for the dictator. And so the time has come now for the people to decide enough. The dictator is not going to give up what he has. And perhaps over the years we have been too civil, sitting down, waiting on a man who is benefiting from the exploitation of the public interest for his benefit to give it up willingly and to do the right thing by the people of Dominica.
By the people of Dominica. Give it up. That's what Mr. Lennox Linton, the president of the United Workers' Party, is advocating at this point. Somebody's writing to me, Matt, the belief that the police, because of the support for Skerrit, is one of the reasons why people are afraid to demonstrate is not totally true. Patrick had a more powerful force than what Skerrit has today. In 1979, the action taken was to decentralize the demonstrations and move to the homes of every minister of government. With all the talk that is going on right now, how many ministers of government have been approached in their constituencies concerning the present situation with threats of actions if they support the reform legislation in its present form? So this scholar is more suggesting that you should take it to the power reps. Why concentrate on just the Prime Minister? Decentralize the protest action. Somebody says here. Yes, but it is the people of Dominica who keep putting the dictator on their back. Caller, are you there? Hello? Caller, are you there? You're not. Let's move to another phone call. Are you there? Yes?
Hi, Matt. Matt, good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you, sir.
Matt.
I'm here.
Matt.
Turn down the volume on your radio because you're hearing me on your radio because you hear me 1 minute later. So turn down the volume on your radio, please. Are you there now?
Okay, Matt, let me ask you.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I don't know. Other than the Prime Minister and the
Power reps?
President. I know the President. Who else have police security? Who else lives in with police security?
Who else?
Yes, or who is there any other minister that are having police security?
I don't think so.
My brother, we have to get serious with that. We have to get serious. We have to visit these people at their homes, and the rest is history. Yeah, because too much shit happening in that country now. Yeah. Too much shit.
All right. Well, some people might be suggesting that you're inciting some violence. So be careful about that. On the telephone, he has talked to me, yeah?
But you know, there's some people that just don't want to lose their gravy bowl at all.
The gravy bowl?
Yeah, their gravy bowl. Some people not working, and they're getting a monthly salary, man. You think some of them will want to lose that, man? But when last year did you get a piece of mail from the post office, man?
When was the last time?
Mm-hmm.
A long time, because I usually deal with emails on the computer.
Because you hear a lot of people who are living in England and Canada can't get a letter, the mails coming for the post office.
Yeah, there's a problem with that, yes.
Yet still there are people drawing thousands of dollars monthly for sitting down and carrying wean. You think they want to lose that? We don't like trouble. Bye-bye.
All right, hello, talk to me on the telephone. Are you there, yes? Uh-huh. Hello? Hello?
So you getting people to settle me?
My brother, 449309. Mr. Mills, you're not making any sense. I won't be tolerating your calls. I won't be taking your calls, okay? 449309. Can you get out of your hard head? You just want to embarrass yourself and your family? Go easy, Mr. Mills. Stay off my line, all right? Thank you very much. Thank you. You're embarrassing your entire family. Calling the radio. Nobody's taking you on. Well, definitely not me. On the telephone, hello, talk to me, yes. Hello.
Hey, Mato, good afternoon.
How are you
good
doing?
afternoon, Mato.
How are you doing? How are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing great, man. I'm doing great. My old folks would tell me I'm doing wonderful, Ross. Mato, you looking for solution as to the way forward for electoral reform?
Electoral reform, yes.
And Mato, my solution that I am left with right now, we need to take at least a page or two from our former president. We don't have to take a 47-day page. We have to be. We can still be a little lenient and effective. So we don't have to take a 47-day page, but we can take 2 pages, and trust me, we will achieve our goal and to get a better way to get that electoral reform go ahead. And I will not ask that we take a page from the pit buller, disappearing people. No. But Maso, if it come to that, take it to mean that I'm not instigating it. But if it come to that, and it's so Dominic I have to rescue, if we left with no choice, Mato, we will go that way. 2 suggestions, Mato, I just give you, and I think it might just work forward. Mato, have a blessed afternoon, man.
Have a blessed afternoon. Have a blessed afternoon. Somebody's asking the question, Matt, are we surprised that Skerrit has rejected Byron's report? He rejected the OECS, CARICOM, and OS Observers report and recommendations. He rejected Mia Motler's report and recommendations. He rejected the CCJ's observation and recommendations. He also rejected the Electoral Coalition report. And that's not all. He rejected Dr. Andrews' report. He asked for a joint report from the observers that he has also rejected. So it is no surprise that a man rejects anything that threatens his winning legacy. I wonder what the professional observers think right now. I wonder if they will still come here to observe elections when it is called. The Lion said a number of CARICOM regional states countries are waiting and looking forward to the model legislation coming out of Dominica. The question the media should be asking how many of the states in the region have seen the model legislation and how many of them have given their consent to this Skerrit legislation. Hello, talk to me on the telephone, yes?
You want to record Matt condoning inside?
My friend, you see what is going on with Mr. Mills? You have taken this radio station to court, my brother. You have taken this radio station to court. You won. Just leave the radio station alone, Mr. Mills. I'm hoping that your lawyers are listening. This is harassment to the fullest degree, my brother. Leave Q95 alone, Mr. Mills. Thank you very much. Hello, talk to me, yes?
Ipakatan. So Eli Boucher. Mark, let me say something there right now. OAS, don't worry for. Carry come, don't worry for. Carry go, don't know if we are alive. Mark, we just on our own in this country in Dominica because all the Caribbean islands are afraid of Roosevelt scary. And that is why we are on our own. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Hello, talk to me on the telephone. Are you there?
Hey, good afternoon, brother. How you doing?
How are you doing? How are you doing? How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. But I remember last year, when that conversation, electoral reform thing, and we had a conversation, and I asked you to, do a periodic fundraising for, so that, we can start mobilizing and whatever. I remember we have several times mentioned that to you. And the reason I mentioned that to you is for reasons like now. Because what happens is, for 20, 15 years, bro, this movement has been a radio movement. I remember when I used to make noise about it, I thought there was things happening on the ground, but finally realized it only happens on the radio. And so we're always in the same hole because it only takes place on the radio. You understand? Which village is being mobilized, Matt? When is a meeting being held somewhere to mobilize people? No, it cannot work like that, Matt. It doesn't work like that anywhere else in the world. You understand? So it's always after Skerritt acts, the movement acts. You had enough time in electoral reform, enough time, months and months and months, where mobilization would have taken place, protests could have taken place even before the fact to let Skerritt know that people are organized. But it is always a reactionary movement taking place on the ground in this thing, man. And that is the problem. That is the problem. I wish you guys the best, bro.
I wish you the best as well. 229, talk to me, yes?
Incitement, man.
My brother, hello, 4493095. Why don't you learn to read some books? Boy, 4493095. Educate yourself a bit there. Okay, Mr. Mills, you have an entire program at Kyrie FM. Do what you're doing. Say what you have to say on that program. Boy, you must be in love with me. Somebody asked me to tell him I'm interested in the female gender, huh? And not the male. It's Pride Month, huh? You may be on heat. 231. On the telephone, talk to me, yes? Good afternoon.
Oh, Lord, because now them texting, but I must have saying it, yo, Matt, you don't wash plate.
All right, 4493095. The guys just continue. I hope his lawyers are listening. I hope the lawyers are listening. Mr. Mills, again, just stop it. Just stop this constant harassment. Hello, talk to me on the telephone.
Matt, you see this do nothing campaign that we are talking about, which happened some time ago, and it scared the hell out of Skerritt and then, Matt, that is what Savre and them did in 79 in the Matt. When Savre says the police teachers will not work, the firemen will not work, Matt, that is Savre saying that those public servants will do nothing, Matt. We do not have unions right now, Matt, that are prepared to stand up to Skerritt and to ask their workers to do nothing, Matt. So the call has to go to us, the people, Matt, that we have to stop, to shut down the country, and he said, do nothing, Matt, because That is what continues to give Skerrit his legitimacy. That is what continues to make Skerrit believe that he's in charge of a government when he is in fact in charge of a rogue state. So the people of Dominica need to know that it is time that we shut down this country to achieve what we want, better governance. Not because if we do not shut down the country to save the country, not the country will automatically shut down itself and it will be worse for us in terms of resuscitating, reviving the country. So it is better that we take control and we have a controlled shutdown by doing nothing and allowing this government to exit in peace so that we could come in and put in a government there that can develop our country, Because if we have to continue as we are there doing something, it just continues to extend Skerrit days and adds to his legitimacy, because he has a government that is working. He has people in the various sectors and they're doing the work and so on. Although even the accounting officers, they have sold out. All of them probably need to take jail, beginning with the financial secretary, for their mismanagement of the economy under the supervision of Skerrit. So right now, the public servants, the best thing that they can do is do nothing to shut, because they have not gotten an increase for how many years, Okay? The fishermen, the farmers, the people at the customs, all across sector, they need to stop and do nothing. The truck drivers, what they can do, take your big trucks that are not employed for how many years now and drive them down in Roseau. And when you reach in Roseau, just get a mind change and just do nothing in Roseau. Just park up in Roseau, because your trucks have been unemployed for so many years, So that is what we are talking about. The do nothing is about shutting down this country, so that Skerrit and them can understand that without the work, without the efforts of the people in the country, they can go nowhere. And we are the ones who are paying him. And you heard of the abuses of our finances from Lennox and others recently, And we just need to keep asking ourselves, when will be enough? Be enough, And that is why we have to do nothing, because we have been doing all along. Every day we're going to work diligently every day. We obey him and so on. We're doing things. And nothing is happening. Mr. Skerrit is just getting worse and worse and worse and just entrenching himself. The more we do, the more Mr. Skerrit entrenches himself. So, the only logical thing for us to do right now is to do what we started some weeks ago, which we saw that will be very effective. And let us brave it out and do nothing. Madam, to say good afternoon to the man Blessings and to my brother Boots on the ground, Mr. Totos Oliver Ward. Good afternoon, my brother.
Good afternoon to you. Good afternoon to you. A lot of text messages coming here for 493095 96 and 97. Let's see if we can read this message from yes. The whole process, tell Mills to go get a job doing security for the Chinese. He sounds like a perfect house slave. Matt Skerrit has no intentions of giving up power and has done everything to concentrate the power of our office around him. Senior ministers were out in 2022 and 2019, and men like Matthew Walters, Austria, Saint-Jean, and the likes are a bunch of spineless mullahs. They have surrendered the democracy of the state to this creature. Today, we have a bunch of puppets in government. Skerrit does not trust the police and courts because he has been successful in dividing and cutting their effectiveness. Servants are promoted over intelligence and capabilities. On the telephone, 4493-095-96 and 97. Hello, talk to me. Yes, good afternoon.
Mato.
Yes, I.
Let me say this to you.
All right.
Use your discretion like you always do. Use it well.
Mm-hmm.
you see that meal?
Yeah.
I'm not putting no S at the end of it. Don't eat that meal now. Don't ever fall for eating that meal, because that meal trying to be eaten by you. But use your discretion like you always do, and you are very intelligent, man. Don't even go down the gutter, which I know you will not do.
No.
Matthew, have a good one.
Have a good one. On the telephone, 237. I'm just warning Mr. Mills. I just tell him, just stay away from the radio for your own sake, my brother. Hello, on the telephone. Are you there? Yes.
afternoon, my friend. Sorry, this
Hey,
afternoon,
my
friend.
brother, how you doing? How you doing?
Well, I did watching the saga.
Okay.
I just watching the cassette stick. So it is not a question. That I know because it is of my knowledge that Q95 and Mr. Mills had some legal.
Yes.
There was some legal action, right? Did that come to conclusion already, man?
Of course, it has come to conclusion.
Okay,
We're way over that.
Okay, nice. Did the court itself give Mr. Mills an order not to call the radio station?
No, it's our decision. It's our decision not to allow him to call.
Well, Matt, you have to be very careful with that. I will tell you that I'm open radio, man.
Why is that? Why is that I have to be careful?
Here's what is important. You can cut him off, but do not openly identify him. Because once you identify him, it knowingly now it becomes is Mr. Mills, and it can credit discrimination. So what he might be doing, Matt, listen to me carefully, he might be tallying every event. You knowingly cut him off by you repeating his name, and at some point in the future, he can consolidate all the events and look and file a discrimination based on the license you all have to operate as a radio station, knowingly discriminating, and ask for compensation and put a lawsuit against it. So just cut him off.
We have consulted with our lawyer, my brother. So we know just what we're doing. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
4493095, and the other hosts have, and I think Lennox allow him some time, so he just can't say it's discrimination. I am the one taking a personal decision, and of course, with the backings of Mr. Gregoire. So he calls the other radio station, other programs, and he is allowed to. But as for my program, no, I wouldn't allow him. And I'll talk to me on the telephone, 239. Talk to me, yes?
Matt?
Yes, I'm here.
Matt, that caller is perfectly right, Matt. When you cut him off, don't call his name. Just cut him off. Okay, Matt? Long I tried to call you, 50 times I tried to call you to tell you that the caller was luckier than me, so he gets to before me. Yeah. It's serious. Don't call his name when you cut him off. Just cut him off. Thank you very much.
All right, caller, thank you very much. 449309596 and 97. Yes? All right, on the telephone. On the telephone, hello, talk to me, yes?
Yeah, no, when you cut me off, you don't have to call them. You can just say there is no rubbish, no money in my rubbish bin here to sweep out. Just that. And you don't have to call them and just cut it out. I don't need no cleaning services to dump out my money, my $46,000, okay? And just cut that out, man.
Well, there may be a new book outside, huh? Topic. Let's go back to the telephone, 449309596 and 97. Hello, talk to me. Yes?
Yeah, good afternoon, Matt. But I was just thinking that, there's some community going on right now, and we're asking for everybody to stay home and actually do nothing. But when I think about it, Matt, you know what's happening? Matt, is the civil servant that have Dominican in this position, Matt. The civil servant haven't got any increase on the salary for years now. 0.00. Skerrit has taken whatever percentage he has taken for himself and his cabal. And those people still going to work consistently. They're the one who have Dominica like that. They have to stop, go to work. When they said stop, do not go to work, he cannot fire a whole institution. There's no level of fear. This level of fear that this guy developed into those persons is nonsense. Do not go to work. Just shut down the country. All the port workers that go into the airports and the fire service and those places, just do not go to work. And let's get this cabal out. Let's get this dictator out of office. We need to do that. Time is running out, my brother. Time is running out in Dominica, my brother. We cannot take more. 24 years, one man just have Dominica on a side like that, and the people are there like some idiots fooling around. This thing is nonsense, and we know that we are very desperate at this time, man.
Let's take a little entertainment this time, huh? Somebody said I should play this one from Mighty Sparrow. 241, huh? Mighty Sparrow. Go drink some coffee and come back. Or your local juice unsweetened, huh?
After working hard to my new son, you turn out to be an ordinary vagabond. Nothing at all you take pride in. When the police come, you hide it. But I am covering up. You're wrong. Next time police come, it's you going down.
Back-moi.
Good afternoon to you, Matt, and good afternoon to all your listeners home and abroad. I've got 2 points I just want to touch on today. One of you callers specified that the main reason why people are not coming out in numbers is not to do with the police, and I kind of agree to that, Matt. People are not coming out in numbers because majority of the people who's unhappy with the way the country is going, they are known as Dominican Labour Party supporters. So therefore, they do not want to be seen in public, and that's purely because of the repercussions. So they're doing the business in silence and behind closed doors, which is good. But all I'm asking for is when election day do come, I hope you do your business in silence and vote against this government. The government will never know who you vote for. It's impossible for them to know. So go out there and do what's best for you, your children, and the future generation. My second point is one of your callers from the opposition called Al. I don't know Al personally. I've got nothing against Al. He's within his rights to support whoever he wants to support. But he made a statement in regards to the 20% of people that's in favor of electoral reform. It is going to be that way, Al, unfortunately, because if the government in power has the majority and they are convincing the majority this is the direction and this is what they should agree, then this is the reflection you are going to get. So therefore, we know that elections are not fair in Dominica, and by all means, we're a democratic country and it needs to be fair. That's all it is. Make it fair. We know what fairness is. Stop playing around the bushes. Stop beating around the bushes. Make it fair for everyone. And if you know that you've got strong support out there, scare it, you still win the election. But at least there will be nothing for anyone to complain about, and there will be no ups, there will be no downs. It will be fair and square. That's it. We're not asking for much. Fair and square, just like when you go into the workplace, all employees should be treated fairly, and that's all we're asking for. Thank you.
are working hard to mind your son. You turn out to be an ordinary vagabond. Nothing at all you take pride in. When the police come, you hiding. But I am covering up. You're wrong. Next time police come, it's you going down. Molas Pale, back with them, back with them, back with them. Mobamele, Mokapale, Upachame, Chame, 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 you papa, back with them, back with them, back with them. Molas Pale.
Let's go back to the archives there for a minute, huh? Let's listen.
Challenge Mr. Linton.
Let's go there.
One of the things I would like to challenge Mr. Linton upon is let us sign with the guidance of Sir Dennis a joint agreement that we shall respect the recommendations coming out of this process and abide by it. If he says he's very serious and sincere about electoral reform, let's sign this agreement. Let's sign this agreement. This game playing is not going to help him. It's going to help the country. And I can tell you, whatever recommendations are going to come out of this, I shall abide. I shall abide.
Are you listening, Mr. Scarrett? Are you listening?
And one of the things I would like to challenge Mr. Linton upon is let us sign with the guidance of Sir Dennis a joint agreement that we shall respect the recommendations coming out of this process and abide by it. If he says he's very serious and sincere about electoral reform, let's sign this agreement. Let's sign this agreement. This game playing is not going to help him. It's going to help the country. And I can tell you, whatever recommendations are going to come out of this, I shall abide. I shall abide.
Electoral reform. We made a commitment to the Dominican people in 2019 that we would engage an independent party to look at the issues raised about electoral reform. We acted promptly in engaging Sir Dennis Byron, former President of the Caribbean Court of Justice, former Chief Justice of the OACS Supreme Court, and Privy Councillor, to serve as sole commissioner to investigate and advise on the issues. While the government engaged him, Sir Dennis does not report to the government. The Electoral Commission has been the coordinator of the activities of Sir Dennis, and he has been working very closely with the Commission in carrying out his responsibilities. At the request of the Electoral Commission, the government made additional funding available to the Commission to enable the drafting of new bills to address changes to strengthen our electoral laws. We expect that when the process has been completed and the draft bills approved by the Electoral Commission, they will be shared with the government, opposition, and other stakeholders for consideration. While we recognize that our electoral laws have allowed for proper conduct of our elections since our independence, as with everything, there is always room for improvement. We therefore look forward to receiving and implementing the recommendations from this exercise.
Shifting the damn goalposts on electoral reform every single moment, to the extent now that the opposition have decided that they will not accept no report from Sir Brian. They will not accept it. The report has been presented by one of the most prominent legal luminaries in the region. These guys are on a mission to wild up their supporters and to cause the supporters to cause mayhem and destruction in the country. And they're hoping that this electoral reform thing, they think it's sticking and resonating with their supporters. So they're hoping that when they cry electoral reform, they'll have another chance of bringing people onto the streets. That is the motive of the United Workers' Party with this stupid debate on electoral reform. We're wasting energy trying to make sense out of a nonsense notion, and they're sitting there laughing at us because we've been a whole week we've been spending talking talking about this stupid electoral nonsense. We will not win that battle because every time you believe you're winning, the United Workers' Party will shift the goalpost. And so it has to be not to the Dominican people to read through that nonsense and to dismiss that as garbage and rubbish and bullshit.
Oh boy. So who is not implementing the recommendations of Sir Dennis Byron? Huh? Life is strange, boy. The archives, huh? They tell the truth all the time.
I struggle to make.
But we're running away from Sir Dennis Byron report. Life.
I went wrong by a window straight.
Say politics made strange bedfellows, huh?
How come you have no ambition? All you want is bad companion. Hope you know that.
This is Q905. Let's take a phone call. Oh boy. Hello. Yes, I'm here.
Matt.
Yeah.
Matt.
Uh-huh.
That's your boy here. Matt, I really don't want you and I to break friendship because of a phone call to your talk show.
No,
why
we have to break?
I have noticed, right, Matt, I have noticed that every time I call, because I'm a supporter, or you know that I'm a supporter of the Labour Party, you tend to challenge me or always want to have an interaction with me, questioning me and try to make me say things that probably I don't want to say. This is not my thing to say whatever you would probably want me to say. However you allow your regular callers, your soldiers of Q95 or soldiers of your talk show to just flow, Matt.
Make the point that you're trying to make because you're running away from the subject. Make the point that you think I'm preventing you from saying. Make the point.
Okay, Matt, I just want to say that whatever penny I own for the work that I do in this country, Matt, I've never gone away. I stay here working at it, and you know that. Matt, whatever dollar that I earn for the work that I do.
But you're saying that to say what? Somebody attacked you?
Because you allow a caller named Blue to call and attack me because I call and make a point.
So how do I know Blue is attacking you? Blue call your name?
Blue, Matt, you know what Blue was talking about.
But I have no idea what you're talking about, my brother. What did Blue say about you?
Matt, the other thing is Blue forgot that the opposition or Lennox Linton, Hector John, Danny Luge was receiving thousands of dollars in pay at the end of the month when they were not attending parliament. Why she never make a comment about it? Me that they're working hard. Blue wants to attack me and talk about thousands of dollars that I get in and all kind of stories.
Well, again, I have no idea Blue was talking about you. I mean, I have no idea, my brother. I have no idea. Blue, you have to apologize, huh? If you're saying bad things about the man. Do apologize, okay? I did not hear you call a name, but if the cop may have feet, I would recommend you apologize to the brother, okay? You don't want no personal attacks, okay? On the telephone, how to talk to me. Oh my God. Yes. Talk to me.
Yes, Matt, it's me again. Dr. Country Business now, Matt.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Matt, yes, Matt, to do that electoral reform, Matt, there's something that has been bothering me, I've been monitoring, right?
Okay.
I remember Mr. Skerritt saying he want to get that over and done with and go to the House and put that towards the House as soon as possible, as July or whatever the case may be, right, Matt? Now, Matt, what the conversation I'm not hearing in that whole negotiation for the reform is, I'm not going into the contents of what he tried to rebuttal it and he figured that it should contain. I'm not going into that. What I'm bothered about is I'm not hearing anybody talking about the period of time the legislation should be allowed after it's passed to take effect. And based on the amount of time negotiated for it to take effect, there should be no elections before that time. Because what Mr. Skerritt, the man that I study in, will do is the moment it is passed, right? Psychologically in the minds of Dominicans that support him, and he will stick to the argument and promote it. You see, I gave them what they want. I brought it to the House. Now it is passed. So technically, he's going to be grooming them to figure after it is passed in the House, it is okay to call election. Now, the opposition forces must be very careful that they also promote a timeline for it to take effect before the next election. Because based on the consistency of the promotion of the opposition forces I've been hearing, is they focus on.
But they say no. The message is simple: no election before reform. That's all it is.
No. But here is what is promoted as reform. Once it goes to the House, that's how he's presenting it to the people. Mr. Skerritt is a psychologist. Once it goes to the House, then he will have an.
But do you think actually, given all the protests that's now taking place with the people and the backlash, if you will, do you think Mr. Skerritt will still take it to the House?
But Matt, you live in Dominica, man, Matt.
But I'm asking you again, do you think with all what is going on right now and the people are saying we're going to stop this, do you think that Mr. Skerritt, I'm just asking the question, do you think that Mr. Skerritt will take it to the House?
He's a very bold guy and believe in what he does. And he gets away with it because the people don't raise up to.
But that is why the people are saying the people should stand.
But the people will not stand now. They did not stand for 20-something years, Matt. He's going off a pattern of confidence. You have to understand what it is.
All right, well, the people will decide that, huh? The people will decide that, my brother. I'm getting a different mood in the country this time, my brother. Based on my intelligence on the ground, the people will not stand for this, huh? My brother Tad, leave Chicago and come down to Dominica.
If you don't ride that way, it's gonna ride all over you. And leaders should pay attention to this one.
I get the feeling that that's just a pause there, Mr. Chicago.
That always remains unchanged.
The people are prepared to stand this time.
If you lead by example,
They have been fooled too many times.
people will change and stop following you. There's always another aspiring leader waiting to take over. And to know
Remember I told you so, right, Tad? Remember I told you so at 3 o'clock on that day.
that's not down than the unemployed young people round the corner. When government counterproductive of what their citizens are trying to achieve. When one sector alone are rising and the other just
No, Candy, I have not blocked you, huh?
whoa.
But there are many, many messages to read, huh? Maybe I'm just getting to you right now. Expressing the point that what can we do when the soon-to-be opposition leader referred to a protest on your program as destroying roads? Or are you talking about Mr. Charles, all right? We have about 2 more minutes before we wrap it up here. Good afternoon. Talk to me, yeah? Are you there, caller?
What other people, man?
449-3095-96 and 97. Talk to me, yes?
He's not. How you doing?
I'm here, man.
You feel the pulse on the ground. You say this time people are going to stand.
I feel so.
No, not well. You say you feel so. I'm actually going around the country, and I know so. As a matter of fact, some of the people that actually even approaching me are people that actually said to me in plain language, "But I vote this government twice, and I'm not doing it again." One guy who actually says that he has 2 jobs, his wife has 2 jobs, and they have 2 children, and they're struggling, and he's actually saying to me, if he was in Antigua or anywhere else, he would be better off. And he said, this time around, this is not going to happen. And more than that, what that made him feel was when he realized that the demon was taking X amount of money to live on his own property and people have to pay that. He said that's where he turned. And there are many other reasons why people turn, but just the fact that this demon has been fooling people for a long time, these people realize that he's not standing for that no more. There are a whole set of other people across Dominica, hundreds of them that feel that same way also. So I can understand.
Yes, I am actually feeling the pulse. And when I talk to a number of people, They openly say, Matt, we need change. We need change.
And bro, I do go around the country. Not bro, I'm a good man, but I go around the country.
I know that. Good day. All right, good day. All right.
When James declares its day, who can stand?
I'm gonna wrap up with this one this afternoon. There again, I just want to play this one there from Eddie Hooper. He says, "Take warning, boy. Take warning. Take warning. It's better be good, huh?" Mr. Eddie Hooper, as we wrap it up here on the Talk on the Block.
Take warning. You better take warning. Take warning. You better do good. Let your light shine bright. Let your light shine bright. Respect your fellow man as you should. Take warning. You better take warning. Take warning. You better do good. Let your light shine bright. Let your light shine bright. Respect your fellow man as you should.
Our next stop is with, of course, Flo.
Evil that men do, live after them. The evil that men do, live after them. Your evil today will blight your tomorrow. So do good.
God is willing, I'll be back on your radio tomorrow. Good afternoon, Dominica.
Forget this party. You won't forget this people. Let's get started. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Please welcome Selector Urban.
When I reach any party, everybody don't know. Oh, oh, oh. If you think I'm crazy, it's the music that got me so. Oh, oh. We're my party people. Throw your hands in the sky. I. Come, my friends, I need you. It's time to raise the vibe. With your hands in the air, hands in the air, hands in the air, hands in the air. This is how we flow. Yeah. Flow is love. Yeah. Hands in the air, hands in the air, hands in the air, hands in the air. This is how we flow. Yeah. Rock somebody and tell them hello. Your happiness will be connected. Smile and cheer because it's me flow. Rock somebody and tell them hello. Rock somebody and hold them there. Jam with each other. Rock somebody and hold them there. Jam with each other. Hold them close, don't go nowhere. Hold them close, don't go nowhere. Independent ladies, step to the front. Oh, oh, oh. Fellas, are you ready? Step to the front. Oh, oh, oh. We're my party people. Put your hands in the sky. I. Come, my friends, I need you. It's time to raise the vibe. With your hands in the air, hands in the air, hands in the air, hands in the air. This is how we flow. Yeah. Flow is love. Yeah. Hands in the air, hands in the air, hands in the air, hands in the air. This is how we flow. Yeah. Grab somebody and tell them hello. Your happiness will be connected. Smile and cheer because it's me flow. Grab somebody and tell them hello.
We got about 4 minutes outside of the hour of 3 right now. Good afternoon, Dominica. How you doing today?
Welcome to another edition of the Flow Hour right here live on Carry FM and the Q95. Hope you guys having a fantastic day so far. All those celebrating their birthday today, I want to say happy birthday to you. Cut the cake and celebrate more life and more blessings upon you. Wishing you all the best on your special day. And of course, many more birthdays to come. Have yourself a good one today. Want to extend out our birthday greetings going out to Ashma. Happy birthday to you. Wishing you all the best on your special day. And of course, many more birthdays to come. Do have a good one today. Want to big up to all my Flow customers one time. Good afternoon to you guys. Thank you for making the right choice. Thank you for switching to Flow. Thank you for signing up. Thank you for choosing the most reliable network. This is how we flow, man. And tell them. Your happiness will be connected to Flow. Smile and cheer because it's me Flow. Grab somebody. Of course, so don't forget the ICC World Cup Cricket Finals is scheduled for June 29th. Want to make sure you look out for that, all right? Want to make sure you activate a prepaid combo plan right now. Pay your bills on time and in full. Bundle up. Switch to Flow. Shout out to Yolanda and Letitia.